Hello students, welcome back to IGT, that is Introduction to Graph Theory. This is lecture number 26. So here I'll be talking about matchings in general graph. So we have done in 3.1 that matchings in bipartite graph, Holt's condition in some graph we have done. So here we can talk about matchings in the spanning subgraph of a graph. Okay, so here we will be talking about all these. Okay, yeah, 3.2 is not in your syllabus, that's why I haven't done it. Okay, now come to factor. Factor is a spanning subgraph of a graph G. Okay, a spanning subgraph is known as factor of G. So every spanning subgraph of G is a factor of G. Okay, for example, you have for this graph, this is the spanning subgraph, so this is a factor of G. This is also spanning subgraph, this is a factor of G. This is also spanning subgraph, factor of G, and this is also spanning subgraph, so this is a factor of this G. Okay, so every spanning subgraph is a factor of G. Now come to K factor. When you write K factor, that is K factor means it's a factor, means to say it is spanning subgraph of G. Then what does this K means? K means it should be K regular. So K regular spanning subgraph of G is K factor. Okay, K regular spanning subgraph of G is known as K factor of a G, and K should be 0 from at least 0, and at most it can be n minus 1 in case of simple graphs. Okay, because in case of simple graph we have degree of any vertex can be at most n minus 1 in a graph of order n. Okay, so any degree cannot exceed in n, correct? N minus 1 cannot exceed, correct? That's why it should be K should be 0 to n minus 1, anywhere in between that. Okay, yeah, here for example, here we can have 1 factor K is equal to 1, 2 factor K is equal to 2, 3 factor K is equal to 3, and so on. Okay, likewise in general K factor. So in general K factor is the K regular spanning subgraph of G. So 1 factor will be 1 regular spanning subgraph of G, 2 factor will be 2 regular spanning subgraph of G, 3 factor will be 3 regular spanning subgraph of G. Okay, so here you can have some example. So let's consider this graph G. Here you have all these 4 vertices, means to say spanning subgraph. So it is a subgraph of this one, and obviously spanning subgraph means factor. It's a factor, and this is 0 regular because its degree at 0 at every vertex. Okay, so this is 0 factor. Obviously K can be 0, correct? So here 1 factor is 1 regular spanning subgraph of a graph. Okay, so it's 1 regular, degree of all the vertices is 1, correct? Here 1, here 1, here 1, here 1. So similarly you have this as 1 factor. Okay, so this 1 factor is the 1 regular spanning subgraph of this one. And if you see it very carefully, then you will be getting this forms a matching in this graph. Okay, and this also forms a matching, and not only matching, this forms a perfect matching in this graph. Okay, so 1 factor always forms a perfect matching in the graph, and for a perfect matching you have some even order graph, correct? So order should be even. So in a even order graph, 1 factor always forms a perfect matching. Okay, 1 regular spanning subgraph. Obviously in odd order graph 1 factor does not exist, because if 1 factor exists in in odd order graph, then it will be 1 regular spanning subgraph. So 1 regular is not possible in case of odd order. If possible, then it will be then it will be odd number of odd vertices, correct. That is, odd number of odd degree vertices will be there, and which is not at all acceptable, correct. So there does not exist any simple graph corresponding to that, correct. So here we are, and as we are discussing only on simple graphs, so here obviously one factor implies form it's a perfect matching. All the edges of one factor forms a perfect matching, correct. So here two factor also possible. So if you take this one cycle, two factor will be always either cycle or union of cycles, correct, because two regular spanning subgraph, so it will be either a cycle or union of cycles. So here that is the two factor, correct. Now as I discussed here, one factor forms a perfect matching all the edges. So here I have just explained. So one factor is a one regular spanning subgraph of G, and the edges of a perfect matching also forms one regular spanning subgraph, correct, because all the edges all the edges of perfect matching contains all the vertices, and as one edge is incident with its endpoints only, so its endpoints is having 1 degree, so it will be containing all the vertices with 1 degree, so that will be one regular spanning subgraph, correct. So means to say one factor and this perfect matching almost the same thing, correct. So here I have listed it. So G has a one factor if and only if G has a perfect matching, okay. And when G has a perfect matching, the necessary condition, I am saying only necessary condition is of a G is that order of G should be even, okay. So for one factor also order of G should be even, okay. Now we can discuss with this one, that is the odd component. What do we understand by odd component? So obviously in case of disconnected graph, if connected there is one component existing, okay. So odd component of G we say a component of odd order, okay. The order of any component is odd, then we say that is the odd component, okay. For example, you can consider here is the graph, here we have two component of G, one is the C3, another is K2. So K2 is with even order, so this is not odd component, this is odd component. So C3 is a component of G with odd order, means to say order of this C3 is 3, that's why this forms a odd component, okay. Now how many odd components are there, that is represented by small o of G, okay. So the number of odd components of G you can represent by small o of G. So that is the O means odd component, so that is the number of odd component of G is denoted by small o of G, okay. So here if you are for a graph G1, for this graph how many odd component, only one, that is C3, and here small o of G is, that is the odd number of odd component of G are just 1, correct. Likewise you can take this example G2. So here it can consist of C3 with this graph with K2 with K1. So how many odd component? First, how many components? That is the number of component is denoted by K of G you can represent, or you can also represent C of G, that is the number of components, okay. So in some books you will find K of G, that is the number of component of G. In some books you will find C of G, okay. C means for component. So how many C of G? For, as it contains 4 maximal connected graphs, correct. So 4 number of components are there, but how many odd components out of that? This is with odd order, so obviously this is an odd component. This is with even order, not odd. Even order, not odd. So this is with odd order and the first one is with odd order, correct? So here two odd components are there, so small of G2 is 2, okay? So the number of components with odd order are 2, okay? Likewise, if you here you can consider G3 consists of two component of C3 and 3 component of C5 and 2 component of K4, and here we know C3 and K5 are C3 and C5 are odd components, correct? These having odd order, and K4 has even order. That's why only this C3 and C5 forms the odd component, correct? So this will be counted. So small of G3 will be 2 component here and 3 component here. Total it will be 5, okay? So here I have listed it, okay? So that's about odd component. Why we are discussing this? Let's come to this one, okay? Now there is in case of bipartite graph, while discussing perfect matching or a matching, you can just say, we discussed about Hall's condition, correct? Hall's matching condition to check whether a particular graph exists, there does exist a matching in a particular graph with some particular cardinality, that is equal to some cardinality of partite set, correct? So here the same thing we want to check whether one factor exists or not. So there is one condition, that is Tute's condition for one factor, or you can also call it Tute's one factor theorem, because he proved this if and only if condition, that is if G has one factor, then number of odd component of G minus S is the subset of vertices, okay? S is set of any vertices. So number of odd component of G minus S is less than equal to cardinality of S. If this is the condition is there in that G, then it has one factor, and if it has one factor, then for all S you will be having this condition, that is number of odd component of G minus E will be less than equal to cardinality of S. And how this is working? So let's have some idea. Proof is not there in your lesson plan, that's why I am not doing here, okay? If G is one factor, G has a one factor, then and you can consider S is any arbitrary set of vertices, then every odd component of G minus S, suppose G is a graph and S you have taken out, then you will be left with G minus S. So this was the S, okay? So this you have taken out, okay? Then every odd component of G minus S, so G minus S will be having some component, okay? If it is disconnected, obviously there will be some component. So here these are the components. Suppose some of them are even, so this is even, this is even. So left are these odd component. So every odd component, it is talking about only on odd component of G minus S has a vertex meshed to something outside it. And why this is happening? If you can, so let me zoom it first. Yeah. So here we have, these are the odd component of G minus S, this is being removed. So suppose this is being removed, so then G minus S will be some with some even component, some odd component. If only odd, then these even will not be there, okay? So for the time being you can consider it contains some even components and some odd component. Now in odd component, order will be odd, okay? So number of odd vertices will be there, correct? So here suppose you can consider 2 odd vertices, 3 number of vertices here. So out of 3 only 2 can be meshed, correct? So these 2 are meshed and 1 is left, correct? And for matching it should be, and G has one factor, means to say there exists one regular, so there will be one edge incident with this, and obviously it will be it will be meshed to some vertex of S, and this is the same thing is happening in this one. Here no other vertex, only one, this will be meshed to some vertex, and here if you have 5 vertices, then out of 5, 4 are being meshed. But what about this left one vertex, fifth vertex? It will be meshed to one vertex with in S, and if even, then either those will be meshed here, or if not meshed in even only, then these will be meshed to vertices of S. Okay, and here only meshed to even. Okay, and itself only. So G minus S. So G minus S, all the odd component of G minus S have at least one vertex, you can just say, that is, or you can just say exactly one vertex, that is incident with some S, and that S has some endpoint, the other endpoint in present in S. Okay, so how many odd components should be there, or you can just say how many vertices in S should be there? At least equal to odd components, correct? It may have some more component, now more vertices in S, that is which are meshed in S only. Okay, so cardinality of S will be at least number of odd component of G minus S, correct? So G minus S, it should be the condition, and if this is the condition, then G has one factor. Okay, so that's what I have done here. So if G has a one factor and you are considering S be any arbitrary vertex set of vertices, then every odd component of G minus S has a vertex meshed to something outside it. Obviously it will be having some vertex meshed to outside it, and that will be present surely in S. Okay, which can only belong to S, because and S has distinct vertices, correct, because of one factor, correct, or you can just say because of perfect matching, because one factor, edges of one factor are forms a perfect matching, correct. So here cardinality of S will be at least equal to number of odd components, correct, and that's what we have done. And the reverse condition is also true. So what we have done here, a graph G has one factor if and only if number of odd component of G minus S after removing S from G, all the vertices of S, this is the number of odd component of G minus S is less than equal to cardinality of S, and this should happen for all such vertices, or you can just say for every vertex set. Okay, for every vertex, that is the subset of vertices. Okay, so here you can have some corollary. We will be solving some examples based on this one, some questions based on this one. So corollary is every 3 regular graph with no cut edge or with no bridge, you can just say, has a one factor. Okay, every 3 regular graph with no bridge has a one factor. So here we want to show that there exists one factor. Okay, so if you are having a 3 regular graph, then degree of every vertex is 3. So degree of every vertex is 3, then what should be the order of the graph? Order of the graph should not be odd, it should be even. So 2k type. If it is odd, then odd number of odd vertices will be there, and that is not possible in any simple graph, correct? So number of vertices will be even, correct, if R is 3, that is the regularity of the graph is 3, degree of all the vertices is 3, then the number of vertices can be only even. So if the number of vertices are even, then C2k is the part of G, correct, and out of that you can form one factor. Okay, and C2k has one factor. How? Every even cycle has one factor. So this one, so you can take this one, and obviously every even cycle has perfect matching, and obviously this is the same as one factor, correct. So that's done. So here these two edges forms one factor, or you can just take these two edges, correct. So these also forms one factor, that is one regular spanning subgraph, correct. And also if this is disconnected, then no odd cycle will be there. All component will be having even cycle, correct. And there will be, in every component there will be even spanning cycle, correct. Because if odd cycle is there, then again odd number of odd vertices, correct. If odd spanning cycle present in every component, then there will be odd number of odd vertices. That is also not possible. So for every component you will be having odd cycle as a part of G, and we know even cycle, sorry for that, even cycle will be the part of G for every component, and we know that even cycle contains a perfect matching. Or you can just say there exists a one regular spanning subgraph. You can just take the one edge and then skip one edge, take the another one, that is the alternative edge forms the, in even cycle forms the perfect matching, or you can just say one factor, correct. So that's done. Now you can come to every regular graph. This is the theorem number 3.3.9. So every regular graph of even degree has two factor. So it is given as every even regular graph, it is every, you can just say 2 regular, 2 regular, 4 regular, 6 regular, and so on. So every even regular graph has a 2 factor. Obviously it will be a true. So every even regular is either even cycle, or it is either a cycle, you can just say even regular. So it may be even or odd. So either it is a cycle or it is the union of cycles, okay. Or there will exist some cycle, the part of that graph, or union of cycles will be the part of components of that graph. And if you take all those cycles, then it will be having 2 factor, because a cycle itself is a 2 factor, correct. For example, you can take 2 regular spanning subgraph. So here we have 2 regular spanning subgraph. So here this itself is a 2 regular, correct. If you have 4 regular spanning subgraph, in case of K5, you can just take 4 regular and some C3 is there, union with this one, okay. So you can take this one from this component, and from this component you can take the outside cycle part, or one of, see, you can take inside one also, but this forms a 2 factor, correct. That is the 2 regular spanning subgraph of this one. So obviously there exist. Now come to example number 10 that I already discussed, that 2 factor in complete graph of order 5. So K5 is even regular, correct. K5 is 4 regular, okay. Obviously, so by this theorem it has a 2 factor, correct. So here is the K5, you can just take one factor is outer C5, or another one factor is inside C5, okay. That is this part will form a C5, and that is this C5 part will form a 2 factor, 2 regular spanning subgraph. So that is done, correct. So this up to this one. Now you can come to a definition of join of G and H, and where G and H are the simple graphs, okay. So join of these 2 graphs is denoted by G join H, okay, this V symbol, or you can just say this disjunction symbol. The same thing we have done in discrete mathematics, correct. So this is the join. So where there also we discussed about join, and using the same symbol, correct? So here join of these two. In some books you might find G plus H also. Okay, so don't be confused with that. That is the same join of two simple graphs. Okay, so here join of two simple graphs G and H is the graph obtained from the disjoint union of G plus H. You can take disjoint union of both graph and add the edges xy, where x is the vertex in G and y is a vertex in H. That is, join of a graph is not of two graph or two simple graph, you can just say G and H, is nothing but it's a graph with vertex H is, you can take all the vertices of G union, disjoint union with all the vertices of H. Means to say disjointly you have to take both graphs. Okay, and edge set will be represented by all the edges in G are present there, obviously yes, as well as all the edges of H will be present there, and with the added edge xy there will be an edge where x is the vertex from G and y is the vertex from H. Okay, so this is the join of graph. I think this is very precise definition. Here I have just written. Okay, now how to draw the join of these two graphs? You can take the example of P3. So P3 union with K2. So you are just taking this is P3, this is K2. Correct. You want to form P3 join with K2. Okay, P3 join with K2. Correct. So all the vertices will be there. So this vertex, this vertex, this vertex, all vertices are present here. So vertices are present here. We have taken all the edges of G will be there. So this one, and all the edges of H will be there, and added edge will be here x for every vertex from G. That for every vertex from G, if x belongs to G, then every vertex will be adjacent to all the vertices of H, and vice versa. All the vertices of H are adjacent to all the vertices of G. Okay, so if this is adjacent, there will be edge from this to this. Obviously this is the vertex from G, this is the vertex from H, so this will be adjacent with this one. Come to second, there will be an edge, there will be an edge. So this graph, this new graph is represented by P3 join with K2. Okay, P3 join with K2. So here I have discussed it. Okay, now you can come to P4 union with that is join with K3. P4 join with K3. So P4 is this one. So you will be taking G as well as H. So K3 is this one, and you will be taking G as well as H and all the edges where if x belongs to G, then x will be adjacent with all the vertices of H. That every vertex of G will be adjacent with every vertex of H and vice versa. Okay, so this will be adjacent with all this one. The second vertex will be adjacent with all three vertices of H. Same with third and same with fourth. Okay, so this is the P4 join with K3. Okay, or you can also write this as K3 join with P4, doesn't matter. Okay, you will get the same thing. Okay, likewise you can have a join of C3 with K1, C3 with K1, this one. So this will be having both the graphs as well as edges. Every vertex of one graph will be adjacent with all the vertices and vice versa. So here join of C3 and K1 we are getting K4, correct? Or you can just say K3. Join of K3 with K1 we are getting as K4, correct? So this graph you can also draw like this. So C3 is this one or K3 is this one, and K1 is here, and here every vertex are adjacent. Okay, and vice versa. So this is also K4, and K4 join with K1. So this is K4 join with K1, what you will get? So all the vertices from G will be adjacent with all other vertices. So here, so this is K5, correct? So in general, you have Kn join with K1 or K1 join with Kn, then you will get a graph isomorphic to Kn plus 1, okay? Okay, and likewise you can get and what about Cn union with, that is join with K1, Cn join with a vertex. So that is C3 join with a vertex, we are getting this kind of structure. C4 join with a vertex, we will be getting C4 with one vertex, and all the vertices of G are adjacent with this one and vice versa. So this one C4 join with K1, C5 join with K1, so C5 will be kind of this one, C6 will be kind of this one, so join with K1, so you will be getting this one. So if you will increase n, then you will be getting a wheel type structure, correct? So this will be a kind of wheel type, and if n is very very large, so K1 will be here and here you will be having kind of wheel, correct? So this one is known as wheel of order n plus 1 because n is from here and 1 is from here, so n plus 1. Or you can also say wheel of order n is the join of Cn minus 1 with K1, okay? That is known as wheel, okay? And if you are having a join of K2 complement with K3 complement, so K2 complement we have only 2 vertices, and here K3 complement we have only 3 vertices, then there will be, these are the obviously will these are the subgraph of join, and there will be some edge from, there will be an edge from every vertex to every other vertex and vice versa, correct? So this is the graph we got, or you can just say this is the bipartite graph we have, correct? With one bipartite set have cardinality 2, another bipartite set have cardinality 3. So in general you can just say whenever you have Km complement join with Kn complement, you are getting a bipartite graph with first set having cardinality m and second set have cardinality n, and there will be, this will be complete bipartite graph, correct? This will be Kmn, okay? Kmn, okay? So that you can see here, I have discussed it. So that's all about the theory part. Now come to exercise. So here again I have defined factor k factor 1 factor odd component Tute's theorem, that is the Tute's condition for one factor, and here this was a corollary, every 3 regular graph with no cut vertex has one factor, and this would be no cut edge. I have just miswritten here. That will be no bridge, okay? Just now I discussed. Has one factor, and every regular graph of even degree has two factor, okay? And this would be non-trivial edges, okay? So here you can come back to questions of this one. So here 3 questions are listed in your lesson plan. So determine whether the graph below has a one factor or not. So first you need to determine whether this has a one factor or not. So first I would suggest that if graph has some, if you are able to draw some one factor in the graph, then you can draw it. Otherwise you can use the Tute's theorem, because that is the necessary and sufficient condition, that is if and only if condition for a graph to have one factor, correct? So yeah, here you can consider this one, so you can't consider this one, then you can consider this one, then these two gone, correct? Then you can consider this one, this one. Now you can consider this one, now you cannot consider this one, and you cannot consider this one as well as this one, correct? And you cannot consider this one because you have considered this edge. Okay, so here this is a one factor, this is one regular graph but not spanning, because this does not contain this vertex with this vertex and this vertex, correct? This E and J are not present. So in general, if you will try to find one factor, then there does not exist, that is spanning subgraph, that is one regular, that will not exist. So G does not have any one factor. And why? By using Tutey's theorem. So Tutey's theorem says that if you have some vertex, for every vertex set, or you can just say for you have for all S, that is the subset of Vg, this should be the condition, that is the number of odd component of G minus S will be less than equal to S cardinality. So is it coming as this one? So you can take this S as A, B, C, D. So A is this vertex, B is this one, C is this one, and D is middle one. And if you remove it, you are getting the vertices E, F, G, H, I, J, means only vertices you are left with, correct? So how many vertices you got? So 3 and 3, 6. So 6 vertices you will got, and one vertex forms an odd component, correct? So after removing this one, you are getting, so E, F, G, H, I, J, and you have removed A, B, C, D, E, correct? So these, obviously this is an odd component, one vertex, this is an odd component. So how many component G minus S you got? G minus S is containing 6 odd components, correct? So what is the cardinality of these odd components? You can just say O of G minus S. So how many? 6 you got. And what you took S cardinality, S was A, B, C, D, these vertices A, B, C, and this middle one D. So what was the cardinality of S? S cardinality is 4, and as you can see, this is not less than equal to S cardinality. So that's why Tutey's condition is not satisfied here. That's why G does not have one factor. Okay. Now you can come back to question number 2, 3.3.2. Exhibit a maximum matching in the following graph. Here you need to find some maximum matching and give a short proof why this has no larger matching. So whatever the matching you will find, why there does not exist any other matching larger than this one. Okay. So as in this graph is given, in this graph you have number of vertices is 18. So 18 vertices are given with this graph, and a matching if you will find, then it will be this one, okay. I have highlighted it, the matching, and this will be having 8 cardinality. This does not consider this vertex, okay, except one vertex, and also except 2. This 2 vertices are not being covered, correct? So how many vertices will be what they are? 18 and 16 are covered in this matching. So for every matching, maximum cardinality you will be getting 8 only, okay. So here 8 independent edges exist, maximum, okay. 8 independent edges exist. So we got maximum matching cardinality is 8, that is alpha dash for this graph is 8, and which is not equal to 9, because maximum matching, or you can just say if a maximum matching become perfect, then it should be having n by 2 edges, but here n by 2 is 9, and here we have maximum matching is 8. So there does not exist any perfect matching. This is not a perfect matching, okay. And why? How we can show that this is the maximum matching? It does not have any other matching with with 9 cardinality, correct? That is with one more edge. That you can just say alpha dash cannot be equal to 9 for this one. If it should be 9, then it should be containing perfect matching, means to say this graph will have then one factor, correct? One factor is one regular spanning subgraph. So it is sufficient to prove that it does not have a perfect matching, or you can just say today's condition will be enough, correct? Enough to prove that is there does not exist one factor. Okay, no, it is sufficient to prove that there does not exist any one factor, means to say there does not exist any perfect matching. So you can consider S, you can take a set S that is having this vertex A, B, C and D. If you remove these 4 vertices, you will be getting G minus S, a graph with 6 odd components, okay, and that is strictly greater than S cardinality. That's why today's condition failed. That's why there does not exist any one factor, and there does not exist any perfect matching. So maximum matching is 8 only, okay. So here if you remove this A, B, C, D, you will be getting which components you will be getting? This one, this one, these 2 vertices, this one, this one, this one and this one. How many odd components? All are odd or not? So here all components are odd, correct? So this one is odd, this one is odd, this one is odd, containing 3 vertices, containing 3 vertices, containing 1 vertex, containing 1 vertex. So here 3 P3 are there, components of G minus S, 1 C3 and 2 K1. So all are odd. So total number of odd vertices are 6, and which is greater than 4, correct? X cardinality is 4. So this is Tute's theorem. By Tute's theorem, this is not satisfied Tute's condition. So there does not exist any one factor, means to say there does not exist any perfect matching, okay. Now you can come to question number 3, and this is the last question, I think. Yeah. So here in this graph, the following graph is given. In this graph, you have to find a k factor for k is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this graph is given, and if you will look at this graph carefully, then you will be having that this graph is, you will find that this graph is 4 regular, okay. At each vertex we have 4 degree, okay. So this graph is 4 regular, so itself is a 4 factor, correct, because this is the graph with 4 regular spanning subgraph. Obviously itself is a spanning subgraph, correct. So this is a 4 factor, so no need to find any factor for k is equal to 4. So k is equal to 4, G itself is a 4 factor, okay. What about k is equal to 0? For 0 factor you can just consider all the vertices only. So here I have considered all these vertices, okay, all the vertices only if you will consider, then it will be having 10 k1s, okay, 10 vertices, 4 here and 6 here. So only 10 vertices, these are spanning, obviously 10 vertices are present here. So and degree of these vertices are 0. So this is 0 factor, 0 regular spanning subgraph. And if you will look at one factor is, you can take this edge, and then this edge out of this one. That is, if you take from this outside C4, you can take alternate edge, that is this one and this one, and from this C6 inside we have C6. So here you can take alternate edge, this one or this one, or you can just take this one and this one. So here I have just explained K1. Okay, you can find these two also. You can take these two edges and these three edges. So that will form a one factor. Obviously, how many vertices are there? So 10 vertices are there. So how many edges in perfect matching? That will be one factor, correct? So 5 edges will be there, and here we have got 5 edges incident with all the vertices. So 10 one factor. Now you can find two factor. So as we have regularity of this graph is 4, then and we have 10 vertices. So we can find C10 here, over here. You can consider this one here, this one here, then you can take this one, then this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So this is a C10. So C10 also exists as a two factor of this one, two regular spanning subgraph of this one, and also if you want disconnected, then you can take inside C6 part and outside C4 part. So this is another two factor. So obviously there are many two factors. Out of that, one is C10 and another is these C4 union with C6. Okay, so that is the regular spanning subgraph two factor. Now three factor. So obviously if you have four regular spanning subgraph and if you delete one edge incident with every vertex, then you will be getting a three factor, three regular spanning subgraph, and obviously three regular spanning subgraph can exist because here total number of vertices n is 10, it's not odd, correct? So there exist, and same with one factor, correct? So how it was possible to exist here one factor? Because its order is 10, okay, and we are going for one regular spanning subgraph. Okay, here three regular spanning subgraph, so we can find, obviously here I have explained here. Okay, you can remove one edge from here, you will be having three factor. Okay, so this is the three factor, three regular spanning subgraph, all the 10 vertices are here, and degree at every vertex is 3. So 3 regular spanning subgraph. Done. I think no more lectures, no more questions about this third chapter. Third chapter completes here. In next lecture I will start chapter number 5th. Chapter number 4th is not there in your lesson plan, or you can just say in your syllabus. So I will be starting with 5.1. okay, I hope you liked it. Take care. Bye bye.